Josh Prohibition, what you taught me more than anything was about loyalty. A couple years ago, when we had our falling out, Josh, what was it about? It was about the fact that I injured someone in a professional wrestling ring. I did what you taught me to do. I was vicious, I was violent, and I was dangerous. And you turned your back on me. When I needed you most, when the world was lined up against Raymond Rowe, where was Josh Prohibition? Josh Prohibition was telling anyone that would listen how dangerous, how unprofessional Raymond Rowe had become. How he didn't even know the person that I was anymore. I was just following your lead, Josh. A firestorm to purify. Do you remember anything of the man you used to be? That's a legitimate question. Do you remember the man you used to be? Because I do. I remember as an 18-year-old kid, hero worshiping Josh Prohibition. Here was a man that stood for everything that I held dear. Here was a man who would fight anyone at any time for honor, for respect. He'd fight for his friends. He'd fight for his family. He'd fight for anyone except me. He showed when the chips were down, he was nothing but a coward. Then it gets worse. Josh Prohibition from Salt Lake City. You claim Salt Lake City because, history lesson for everybody here, there was a straight edge gang that used to tear apart people like the guys in this room that would drink every weekend. They'd carve X's in their back with razor blades. That's why Josh Prohibition from Broadview Heights is announced from Salt Lake City. The name Prohibition is taken from a time when you weren't allowed to drink in this company, because the man that I used to respect, the man that I used to look to as a hero, used to be straight edge. Your goddamn name is Prohibition. How can you look yourself in the mirror and turn your back on everything you used to stand for, everything you told everyone you stood for? You're a disgrace. All these people love you. Why? At Absolution, he wrestled another best friend. Noticing a trend here? Used to be a best friend. Josh, Mr. Loyalty, Mr. Respect, wrestled M-Dog, Matt Cross. Guy he came up with. Guy who is starving, following his dream to be a professional wrestler. Josh Prohibition wins the match. What's he do with his money? He buys a round of beer for the crowd.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Meanwhile, his best friend is on the ground in pain. He can't make rent this month, and it's more important for you to buy some beers for your boys?
Hell yeah. That's loyalty.
That's loyalty to the wrong thing. See, Josh, I'm loyal to those that are loyal to me. You lost my respect 6 years ago, and you've been living a lie ever since. Now, my arm is broke, my thumb is broke, I've got 2 plates, 16 screws, enough metal in here to carve into your back. Don't you dare retire before you step in this ring one-on-one with Raymond Rowe. If you're a man at all, if you have any ounce of self-respect left in your body, do not retire until your last match. And I guarantee it will be your last match is against Raymond Rowe.
You know what, over the last 6 months in AIW, I have to say that this is probably the strangest 6 months I've ever had in professional wrestling, and believe me, I've had some strange days. First, like you mentioned, Matt Cross turns his back on me, throws away 20 years of friendship. And that wasn't because of choices I made, that's because of jealousy. That's why Matt Cross threw away our friendship. And then here I see Ray Rowe in an AIW ring. I feel like I've entered into some kind of bizarre alternate universe. I never thought I'd see this in my entire life. And you have one thing right, Ray. You said a lot of stuff, but here's one thing I'll agree with. You wouldn't be standing here, you never would have stood in a professional wrestling ring if it wasn't for me taking you in my basement, showing you how to chain wrestle. And you know what I noticed? You know who you gave credit to for training you? Lou Marconi. The guy taught you how to do drop toe holds for 2 weeks, and you're going to claim that he trained you. So talk about loyal to those that are loyal to you. You wouldn't even admit that I trained you. And you want to talk about something? When I train a guy, I don't just train him as a professional wrestler. I speak into their life. I try to give them wisdom because I've made all kinds of mistakes. And here's the thing. Every time you came at a fork in the road, Ray, you went the wrong way. No matter how many times I told you, Ray, don't do it, you did it. You claim to walk this path of resistance. Is that what you call it? Is that what you call all the bad decisions you made in your life, your path of resistance? I got another name for it, Ray. It's a firestorm. Everything you touch turns to ash. Every relationship, every friendship, your marriage. You were a heavyweight wrestler at Case Western University. You had it made. You were going to one of the best colleges in the country, and you threw it away. You know why? So you could go make $8 an hour at Peabody's as a bouncer until you got an assault charge and thrown in jail.
Oh, no, you did.
So, instead of becoming an education major and a collegiate wrestler, you decided to join a gang? And you want me to stand by and be loyal to that? While you go and throw your life away? You want me to stand by and give my stamp of approval? My loyalty to that? It made me sick to my stomach to see you throw your life away. It made me want to throw up, and I couldn't take it anymore. So when I say turn my back on you, you turned your back on me when you threw every piece of advice, every piece of wisdom I ever gave you out the window. And here is the final straw. I know Gregory Iron acts like a dickhead out here, I get that. But Greg is a personal friend. And in a pre-show battle royal for Cleveland All Pro Wrestling, you nearly killed the poor kid. You powerbombed him on the apron, you nearly broke his neck. And if he would have went to bed that night, he'd be dead right now. And that's no bullshit. He'd be decomposing in the freaking ground. And you want to talk about being a violent son of a bitch, carving people's backs with X's? That's the kind of man you want me to be? How about this? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take my 2 kids to the nature center. I'm going to go see the freaking turtles. That's a man, not carving people up with X's in their back. So, you want to come out here and interrupt this? I'm trying to go out the way you're supposed to, and you're going to come out and challenge me to a match? You want a match? Well, here's your answer. No, I won't give you a match. But I'll tell you what I'll give you. I'll give you a fight. I'll give you a war. So I'll tell you what, Ray, with your 16 screws, 4 plates, you go back to Texas, you get that arm in shape, because I don't want a 70% Ray Rowe. I don't want
Josh, with everything in my body, I'm hoping that you go home, look yourself in the mirror, and believe half of that bullshit you just said. So I want you to do one thing for me, Josh. One thing. Go home tonight. Kiss that pretty wife. Kiss those gorgeous little girls you got. And pray to whatever God you pray to that I never fully recover. Bitch.